dear nursing colleagues, today I will be presenting to you how to fill the Nnas application form towards applying for licensure in Canada, either in Ontario, Alberta, or District of Columbia, any province that you want to seek your licensure. The first thing is to go to the website by typing in Nnas application on Google search, and that takes you to their website, which shows you the application process. And the application process is just about 5 steps, and this includes the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. And then you also, after then, you go to click. Then you click on apply to register your account or to create your account. So put in your email address and answer the security questions, and put in the answers you can easily remember. After you have put in your security answers and click on submit, the Nnas sends you a link and a security code to your email that you use to register or create the account. So the next thing is to check your email for this security code and link. In this email, I found out that I am provided with my security code and the link. So what I need to do here is to copy the link and click on the highlighted link. So what I need to do here is to copy the code and click on the highlighted link. So after clicking on the link, it asks me to answer one of the security questions for which I provided an answer. So I put in my response and I paste the security code in the box, and I enter my password, which I believe I will be able to easily remember. So after clicking on submit, it takes me to another page where I have to log in with my registered email and my password. After logging in, it takes me to the registration portal where I have to start a new application. So I click on the Start a New Application button, and it takes me to another page that verifies that I may not be eligible if I have not at least had a nursing education as a diploma or as a bachelor's degree nurse. So you click on I understand. It also asks you which nursing group that you wish to apply for. Is it as a licensed or registered practical nurse, or registered nurse, or registered psychiatric nurse? In this case, I am applying to practice as a registered nurse. If you want to practice as a psychiatric nurse and you have undergone psychiatric nursing in Nigeria or in your country, and you wish to practice as a registered psychiatric nurse in Canada, whether in Ontario, Alberta, or any province, of your interest, click on registered psychiatric nurse. But for me, I am applying to work as I am applying to be licensed as a registered nurse. Is that it inquires about which of the provinces you wish to obtain your licensure. There are many provinces here, but for this presentation, I'm using Ontario. So I will click on Ontario. After clicking on the province, it shows you a box that informs you that you have the opportunity to edit your answer, to change your province, to change your nursing or your answer within 2 months after submission. For instance, if I submit my application today, I have just 2 months to edit any of my responses. Then I click on continue, on yes, I understand, then continue. And it asks you about the language that you speak fluently. Most of us, many of nurses in Nigeria, we write and communicate in English. So you put in English. So if you live in a country where English is not usually the lingua franca, like if you live in China, where Chinese is the official language, just put in Chinese or subdialects. If you live in a French-speaking country, just put in French. If you live in a Spanish-speaking country, just put in Spanish. It also asks about your original language, your first language. This may be dicey. For instance, if you are a Nigerian, but you are raised in the UK, you are raised in the US, and the only language you can speak fluently that you grew up with is English, just put English there. But if your language, your first language that you can speak fluently is Yoruba, just click Yoruba, just click on Yoruba. So here it is asking you that whatever language you might have chosen, once you submit, it cannot be edited. Once you submit, it cannot be changed. Next, it inquires about your physical address. Ensure that you use a working physical address where all the correspondences can be sent to. So you can also use this physical address as your mailing address. Also remember that it is not compulsory to fill those questions that are not asterisked. Like if you are asked about your zip code, if it is not asterisked, don't fill them. That means they are not necessary in the application. But if you have them, just put it there. I mean, if you have them, just fill them there. Your contact information has to be the number that you are currently using. Even if you are not in Nigeria and you are resident in another country, put in the number you are currently using, that whenever they call you, you can be reached. And also remember to put in your code when putting in your international number or your country number. So it takes you to another section which inquires about your personal information. So you fill in your personal information and proceed to the other boxes that ask about the country where you completed your initial nursing education. If you completed your first nursing education in Nigeria, put Nigeria. If you completed your nursing education in the UK or in the US or in Canada, anywhere in the world, just put in the country, because this portal, Nnas, has the information of nursing schools in each country. So if you put in Nigeria, the next box where it asks you about the school you attended, you will see a list of schools of nursing in Nigeria. So the next thing is that it asks about your schools, your nursing education. So here you can add as many numbers of nursing schools as you want. For instance, we have nurses who have obtained their diploma nursing education, who have obtained their bachelor's after diploma, who have also obtained their master's after their bachelor's. So all nursing education that you have acquired, put everything there. Because the reason for this is to avoid sitting for additional courses, sitting for a competency assessment. The essence of putting everything there is to bypass all these additional courses, paying for additional courses, sitting for a competency assessment. We want to see that we meet the criteria without sitting for all these additional courses or exams. But putting in all your education does not guarantee that you'll be exempted from sitting for additional courses or writing some kind of competency assessment. Asks about the name of nursing school. The name of nursing or psychiatric nursing program. If you are a diploma, if you are using your diploma as your first nursing education, put in diploma. If you are using a bachelor degree as your first nursing education, put in bachelor's degree. And the next one, it has about the type of school or educational institution. So you can put in university, You can click on university if you went to university, or click on college if you went to schools of nursing. If you went to school of nursing, there are some school of nursing in Nigeria that have now colleges. So whether you went to school of nursing or college of nursing, just click on college. And it asks you about the category of program. Choose nursing if you are seeking licensure as a registered nurse, or choose psychiatric nursing if you are choosing licensure as a psychiatric nurse. Then you fill in other information pertaining to the name you were using when you attended the nursing school, the date the program started, and the date the program ended. Then it asks you about the language of instruction. This is very, very important, because if the language of instruction in your school was in English, put in English. Because this may exempt you from sitting for IELTS, TOEFL, or OET. But for nurses who live in a country where the language of instruction was not in English, they may be asked to sit for IELTS, TOEFL, or OET. Now, it is asking you about the name of the credential. If you went to school of nursing, just put in associate degree. But if you went to the university for your first nursing education, click on Bachelor of Science in Nursing. After inputting those information, it still asks you if you had gone to other nursing school after your first nursing education, maybe after your first nursing education as a diploma or as a bachelor, you proceeded to obtain your master's post-bachelor or to obtain your bachelor post-diploma. Put in all information there. This may help you to bypass sitting for additional courses to meet the requirements to practice in Canada, or sitting for a competency assessment to meet the requirements to practice as a nurse in Canada. You may be lucky if the province says that all your educations are equivalent to the province nursing education. You may be exempted. So who knows? So put in all information you can to help your application, even though this is not guaranteed that should be exempted. So then you click on continue to registration. In this section, it will ask you about the nursing board or nursing council that registered you as a nurse. Here it is asking about the jurisdiction where you completed your initial nursing education. So, and then if you can practice as a nurse even without license. For example, in Nigeria, once you have enrolled in nursing school, you sat for the nursing council, you passed the nursing council, you can practice as a nurse pending the time your license is issued. Once it can be verified that you actually went to nursing school, you truly sat for the exam, nursing council exam, and you passed. So the employer has to verify that from your school. So that means we can practice as nurses in Nigeria without license, provided this information is certain. So, but in US, UK, that will not be possible. You have to have your license before you can practice. Even though if you are passed NCLEX or CBT or OSCE, you must have your license to practice. So the next question is asking about the diploma number. We can see that it is not asterisk, so you don't have to put it in. It is not necessary. Then it takes you to another page which inquires about the country where you obtain registration. So for this presentation, I will choose Nigeria. Like I said initially, that if you put in a country, the site has the list of nursing schools or nursing boards in that country. Because I chose Nigeria, so the next box, which inquires about the jurisdiction, the registering board or the authority, so it has all the boards, all the registering boards or bodies in Nigeria. So I will have to look for my own nursing council, which is Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. If your registration was in UK, for instance, and then you choose UK as the country, as a country that issued your license, so in that case you will have to look at the drop-down list to look for NMC UK. And in the next question, it has about the name that you use when you are seeking for this registration. If you were not married, use your maiden name. If you are not married at the time you were seeking for this registration, use your maiden name. And another thing is about the current nursing registration or license number. This means that you can either use your registration number. I will show you here. You can either use your registration number. You can either use your registration number at the right upper corner of your certificate issued by the NMCN. You can see here, or you can use your license. This means that if you are using your registration number, if you are using your registration number, that will mean that your license is not ready, or you are in the process of renewing your license. So if your license is not ready, you can use your registration number that is written at the top of the right upper corner of your certificate. So because I have my license, so I'm going to put in my license number. And if you are using a registration number and it has about the date this number was issued, just come here, you will see the number here. You will see the number 13th here, 2009. But if you are using your license, you have to put in the date your license was issued. Your license was first issued. That is the date you will put there. And the next one is that it asks if your license expires. If your license expires, you have to put in the date your license will expire. But if you are using the registration number, you don't have to put anything here, because your number here, your certificate number is it's for life. So you can't renew your certificate. The only thing you can renew is your license. So if you are using the registration number, you don't have to put in the time it will expire. But if you are using your license number, in Nigeria, license is renewed periodically every 2 years. So you put in the time the license will expire. And if the license has expired already, but you have not started the renewal process, just enter the date the license expired and write in the comment that the renewal is in the process. It has about if you are eligible to be licensed. It has about the method by which you are registered. Before you can register as a nurse before you can register as a nurse in Nigeria, you have to pass the nursing council examination. And then the next question is asking about your eligibility to practice as a nurse in your country. In Nigeria now. Just click on yes. And it also asks about if you have been registered to practice in any other health disciplines. Maybe for instance, before you came to nursing profession, you were once a physiotherapist or you were once a medical microbiologist. That is still under health disciplines. Just say yes, click on yes. But if you haven't done any other health disciplines, just click on no. And it also asks about if you have registered to practice in any other professions. Maybe you were once a teacher, but now you are a nurse. So click on yes and indicate that you were once a professional teacher. If not, click on no. So the next stage is to it's about your the NCLEX RN examination. It asks if you have passed NCLEX on or after April 1, 2013. So if you have passed NCLEX before this date, just click on no. If you have not even sat down for NCLEX at all, just click on no. But if you have passed NCLEX on or after this date, whether you go to NCLEX for US or for Australia, just click on yes because they use the same NCLEX results. So just click on yes. But if you click on yes, that means you have to click on a button that says save and begin adding examination, where you have to put in your NCLEX RN exam information. If not, click on save. I have no examinations, continue to conditions. Then it asks you about your registration status. Are you currently registered in another Canadian province or territory? If you are once in a province, practicing as a nurse in a province, now you want to go to another province, click on yes. If not, click on no. And it also asks that in how many other Canadian provinces or territories have you applied to register. It is possible that you are seeking licensure in many provinces, so you may have to put the number of provinces that you are currently seeking licensure from. If not, just click on none. Then it asks about if you have sat down, if you have written a competency assessment. For instance, if you are in Alberta, which is a province, and Alberta required you to write a competency assessment, but now you are seeking licensure in Ontario, so you have to indicate that you had once sat down for a competency assessment in a province before now. And if not, just click on no. So the other question is about license conditions. in your country if your license has been subjected to malpractice, to negligence, or to a treasonous act, or to any illegal offenses. So you click on either yes or no as applicable to your situation. So for me, I'm clicking on no, 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 no. So here it asks you about your current employer, so you put in the information. So you don't have to fill in those questions that are not asterisked. So you click on, you fill in the information. And then about your supervisor, ensure that any nurse you are using as a referee or as a supervisor, ensure that the nurse is in the upper cadre, like chief nursing officer, assistant nursing, director of nursing services, or director of nursing services, so that whenever they call these people, they can inform the province about your safe nursing practice. And then you also fill in if you are a full-time or part-time, and the language of the patient population. For instance, when I was working at OATAC, the language of the patient population was Yoruba, and it's still Yoruba. So I will just put in Yoruba, and it has about the name of each area or unit of practice that I have worked. So I have worked in the medicine, I have worked in surgery, I have worked in the general, I have worked, just put in all specialties or units you have worked. And the next one is asking about the number of hours that you have worked in the last 5 years. For instance, as a nurse, you are likely to work 40 hours per week. So 40 hours times 5, which is 1 week, that is 80 hours. 40 hours in a week times 4 weeks, that is 160 hours in a month. So 160 hours in a year, that is 160 hours times 12, that gives you 1,500 hours. So the current year, which is 2023, this is February, just calculate the number of hours you have spent so far and put in the year 5. Don't forget to put in the date you started your employment and the date you ended your employment. So if you are still working in the establishment, you don't have to fill that space. And peradventure, you might not have been working for the past 5 years after your nursing graduation, and this may necessitate that you go for a refresher course. But if you have been practicing since graduation, you don't have to do a refresher program. So you don't have to do a refresher program. So just click on no. And then you click and go to continue to payment. In this section, if you are using an agency, they may have to pay for this application. But if you are self-sponsoring yourself, then you may have to enter your card information. I understand that in Nigeria, for instance, there may be challenges in completing this session because of the policy. So we can assist to pay for this, provided you you pay us the equivalent into our Naira account. Then we can pay for this application by using our own card. So thank you for your audience. If you have any question or concern about this application, don't hesitate to contact us via our email, which is travelnursconsultancy@gmail.com. Thank you. See you next time.